It's Rich from Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you today? Tonight? It's late. But it's time for our usually Monday morning barn chat, but it's a little later than morning. Been a really busy day, and just it was kind of nonstop. I told you folks that whenever I have these little, and we're all going to have those disasters, okay? Things that look good, sound good, you hear about other people doing it, and they're having great results with it, and you give it a whirl and it goes poof, right in your face. Yeah, that was me with stockpiling grass last year. It didn't work. Down here we got some pretty invasive weeds that if you don't keep your pastures, if you try to stockpile grass, this stuff will invade your pasture and turn it into a weed patch real quick. And that's what happened here. Not any, major setback. Got to bush hog it all out of there, and then probably we'll do 2 cuttings of hay on both those pastures this year, which is gonna really cut me back on my rotation in my other pastures, because I'm gonna pretty much take these 2 pastures out of service and just use them for hay. Should be okay, but yeah, it didn't work. And I know I'm going to hear from some of the guys that do stockpiling go, no, it works wonderfully, blah, 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 blah. Maybe where you're at it does work great. Where I'm at it didn't work so hot. Primarily because we don't use any kind of herbicides, weed killers, things of that nature. We're totally organic, and that could have probably saved us. But it is what it is. The cattle did all right. I mean, there was plenty of grass out there. The grass was probably 8 to 12 inches tall. But this weed seeds up in latter part of summer, which is when you quit cutting to do the stockpile. And by winter, that stuff's standing 4 foot tall. You don't know that you got any grass out there. It's a field of brown. That's it. Very fine pollen on the stuff. I have screen on my radiator for my small tractor, and it plugs that thing up in a heartbeat and then goes right through that screen into my radiator, plugs it up. So tomorrow morning I'll probably do a brief little video of taking a hose to clean out a radiator, get this pollen out of there. Because next hit in that parade is your tractor overheats, and you're sitting out there kind of trying to broom it off with your hand and get yourself at least back to the house where you can flush the thing out. And this last round, it was by the time that happened, I was running on headlights anyway, and it was like, okay, take a break, let the tractor cool off enough to where I'm not going to damage my tractor getting it back up. And it's parked out here now. Tomorrow morning I'll hose out the radiator and get back to it. And I'll take you out there in the field so that you can see what I'm talking about as far as these weeds. And, yeah, be careful, especially if you're doing things organically, on some of these techniques that are being used elsewhere. Yeah, like I keep telling everybody, every homestead's different. Every farm's different. What may work wonderfully for one person, because I'm not saying stockpiling grass doesn't work great in the right conditions. I'm saying it didn't work so hot for me, and sad to say I'll be cutting hay. If it worked, and here's the point, I don't want to badmouth stockpiling grass, for one simple fact. If you can feed your cattle or your goats or whatever, and you grazing animals, if you can feed them without burning diesel fuel, Good deal. So if it works for you, and like I said, don't, just because it blew up on me, don't not try it. You know, give it a whirl. Talk to some of your neighbors. Some of them may have already tried it and went, don't do that. I had a couple of neighbors warn me about it. And I thought, well, I got to give it a try. And at least they were courteous enough not to point their finger and go, I told you so. So that's fine, you know. I'm going to take a drink of coffee because I'm taking a little break here before I move on. That's what we call hillbilly espresso. You know, when you make a fresh pot of coffee and you get that first cup that comes out. Good stuff. I can tell you a quick story here about my grandfather. He used to have a little electric percolator, and he would fill that up at night with coffee, the little basket on there, and perk it. And he'd take the basket out and dump the grounds. Following morning, he'd fill it back up with grounds again and re-perk that coffee through fresh grounds. And he always used to smile and say, 1 cup will take care of you. Boy, he was right. Whew. That's stuff you could eat with a spoon, man. But that's all he ever had, was that 1 cup of coffee in the morning. Yeah, I don't go quite that far with it. But yeah, I do like strong, hot black coffee. Anyway, so stockpiling grass didn't work out too well. What else we got going on here? Chickens are doing well. The little chicks, I put up a video on that. They're doing great. They're hitting that stage where they're really messy little dudes. And yes, I did put them in the bathtub. Guilty as charged. But I wasn't going to risk them. You know, we had a little cold snap and I just didn't want to risk them. Things we do for our animals, right? Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. Tomorrow I'll put up a video of the mess in my pastures and how we're going to go about correcting it. There's a method to it, and we'll get them back in shape. But I got 2 pastures. Yeah, it's not a lot. I mean, we're probably talking 10 acres. So you know, it's not a big crisis, but yeah, it's a little disheartening. I was kind of hoping that it'd work for me. So anyway, that's where we're at. Wife's out on a business trip, so I'm being a bachelor for the next couple of days. And that's pretty much it from down here. It's late. I don't know if you can hear those frogs chirping out there. I actually saw a lightning bug. Yeah, spring's here, man. It's going to be a good year. Alrighty, this is Rich from Tennessee Homestead. Hope this finds you having a good time, and wish you well for the day.